What is going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to the Amazon Q&A show where you guys can ask anything that is on your mind. Bring your questions, your thoughts, your concerns, your arguments, and we will be happy to try to get you an answer or help you any way that I can. We are live, as always, from sunny Central Florida, and looking forward to it. It's a nice day out, and it's going to be a great weekend. So, if you're new here, it's a very simple show. We go live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and we try to answer your questions, and try to help you with your Amazon business. So. Hope everyone is crushing their Q4. And I see my good friend Nate is here. What's going on, man? Juan, 3 out of 5. You absolutely pass. Ryan, absolutely. Consistency is what wins. So I'm going to be trying to be very, very consistent with this. And Luke, always showing up, my man. How's it going? Hope your week is going well. Hey, Felix. Hey, Flats. Again, if you guys have any questions, make sure to drop them in the chat. There is a little bit of news today. And I think we may have Lulu does have a sweater on. She gets a little chilly. I have 2 dogs. One is 4 years old. He's a big oaf. He's about 140 pounds. And then I've got an 11-pounder, and she's 18. So we've had her since she was just about 6 weeks old. She gets a little chilly these days. So little news, and I can't remember if I touched on this yesterday or not, but Nate shared that he is or that the BOI, the beneficial ownership information or whatever it is, does not need to be filled out quite yet. A Texas federal court has enjoined the BOI with the FinCEN or the Financial Enforcement or Financial Criminal Enforcement Network or something. I always forget what it is, but as of right now, you don't have to fill it out. It has a stay order on it. However, the U.S. Attorney General has already pushed back or has already filed an appeal. So we may end up needing to do it anyway. Now, this is one of those instances where my procrastination pays off because I have not done it yet. And I may have to. So I don't know. I'll be keeping a close eye on this because it's a $500 a day fine if you don't send it in. And so now, who does this affect? Anybody with an LLC, an S Corp, a C Corp, anybody who has some sort of corporate structure is going to have to do this. Now, the way that I read it first was if you ever filled out anything with your Secretary of State, you may need to fill it out. Does that mean that someone who maybe just has a DBA from a sole proprietor has to fill it out? I don't know. You're going to have to talk to your CPA about that and figure that all out. So make sure to keep your eye on that. Again, that information is going out in my newsletter. It went out in Nate's newsletter. He's here, Entre Resource. He sent it out in his newsletter as well. So, and I'll be keeping a close eye on that and reporting again on it, either with Chris Rasick when I do our weekly live on Wednesday or via email, probably both. So, let's see here. We've got Hey, Harold, what's up? First time here. Glad to see you. Peyton, really close to your first 1K day. Dude, that is really great to hear. Congratulations. I would imagine you're doing a little bit of FBM this Q4. I hope you absolutely crush the rest of the year and make some good money, man. That's killer. All right. Again, if you have questions, there's plenty of you here. Don't be shy. That is what I'm here for. I'm here to answer your questions. Drop them in the chat. I did also promise that I would try to bring you guys a piece of information or two whenever I possibly could. That could be about Keepa, about sourcing, whatever it is. And there was one earlier this week that I wanted to get to, and I don't remember if we got to it or not. So, in since this, there's probably new people here, we'll go through it again. But this time of year is a it's a special time of year. Uh, Products pop off at different times. There will be prices that go up and things. Oh, sorry, and there will be things that are FBM friendly. So, Felix, I'm glad that you brought that up. We're specifically going to talk about things that are FBM friendly. All right. So, couple of things that you're going to want to do if you pull up Keepa. Number one is you might want to choose sales rank a little bit. So I'm just going to go with current sales rank under 150,000. Okay. And I'm not going to worry about any of the drops. All right. Buy box, not going to worry about that too much. But under the 7-day drop, I do want this to be going up. I want the price to be trending up. I'm going to say negative 250 to negative 15%. Now, what these negatives are going to do for me is it's going to show me only products that have gone up in price on average over the past 7 days, anywhere from 15% up to 250%, right? And then you could choose Amazon out of stock if you want, but I'm not really going to worry about that right now. Instead, I'm going to roll down. I'm going to choose a category because we've got 659,000 results here, and that is just way too many. So I'm going to choose toys and games. All right. Toys and games are popular this year. As a matter of fact, for Cyber Monday, toys were up 680% in sales year over year, which is a killer number. Like, that's just crazy to me. So now we've got 9,644 products that are under 150,000 in sales rank in the toys and games category that over the past 7-day average have gone up 15 to 250% in buy box price. All right. So now we're going to run just a couple more things. Number one, I'm going to say that I want to see items with a 30-day average of 3 or more new offers. This is just to try to get rid of those private label products. I don't particularly want to see those right now. And in the buy box, what we're going to do is we're going to do third-party sellers, all right? That way I don't have to worry if Amazon's getting the buy box currently. And then in buy box, this additional buy box switches, is the buy box FBA? I'm going to say no, all right? So this should give me all the products where the buy box is currently being held by an FBM or an MF, an MFer seller, merchant fulfilled seller. All right. Not what you're thinking. A third party seller. So hopefully, now this might pull back a little bit of Amazon UK on occasion, but not as much as it once did. Then we're going to see those prices hopefully trending up. We're going to see these under 150,000 in sales rank. And once we go and find the products, we should see some things here. Let's take a look that are trending up in price. And sure enough, this was at 879, and we can see the price just trending up and up and up. Even Amazon's going up in price. And right now it looks to be right around 1897. Now we've got to remember, and I don't know if this is profitable or not. Okay. We haven't gone out and sourced it or anything like that. And we have to remember that this data is not always right up to the minute. Okay. So you're always going to want to check through. And if we open this up on Amazon, we're going to see that the buy box price is $18.99. So the price is a little bit higher, but we've still got this at from an FBM seller. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little Google search here. We'll pull part of that. We will search Google for this and see if we can find it anywhere. And it looks like Walmart has this for $10.97. I'm sure they had some sort of Black Friday, Cyber Monday deal going out on this. So it's not profitable right now, but it may have been if this was 30, 40, or maybe 50% off for Black Friday. All right. There are 696 other results that we could go through here. Now, there are a lot of other things that you could do inside of Keepa. Maybe you want to make sure that you're only looking for products that are fairly small. That way, your shipping cost will be fairly low. Well, you could do that. You could go down into the filters and you could go to the weight, you could go to the dimensions, and you could put those in there. And make sure to do this outside of just the toys and games category. A lot of other categories are giftable. People gift health, beauty and personal care products. People gift home products. You wouldn't think about this, but people actually will gift things like supplements. People will gift food. All right. Everything is giftable, everything is selling more. And that means as supply comes down, prices should go up as long as demand is there. All right. Okay. Let's answer some questions here. All right. Stank Hollywood. How many times will you have that 14-day challenge next year? We're going to do it at least twice, maybe 3 times. Just depends. I've already gotten more from this than months of watching the other guy. Just realized I've been capping my increase. Let's see here. I'm planning to become an Amazon seller, but I hear lots of negative things. But my main concerns are, can you have 2 addresses as an Amazon seller? So, Harold, you are going to hear a lot of negative things. Heck, I'll be completely honest with you. There are downsides to being an Amazon seller. But let me give you a let me give you a piece of advice about being an entrepreneur at all. There are downsides to it, period. All right. Entrepreneurs typically make more money than people who have a W 2 job. Now, I say typically, it's not always. There are those outliers who have W 2s, but entrepreneurs get paid in the proportion in which they solve problems. And that is, in my opinion, what being an entrepreneur is all about. It is just being willing to run headfirst into problems and try to solve them. All right. And the more you solve, the more you get paid. So, can you have 2 addresses as an Amazon seller? Yes, you can have 2 addresses. I have my home address. I also have my address on my prep center on my Amazon account. I could have another address if I wanted to as well. And I know some people who have done retail arbitrage across the country. We call it travel trage, okay, where they will drive from one end of the country to the other, picking up items in retail stores and shipping them into Amazon. And they're using tons of different addresses because you're going to want to use whatever address you are shipping from. All right. So shouldn't be too big of a deal there. All right. One, what if I wanted to limit my results to a box that's 3 by 7 by 9? Great question, Juan. We can absolutely do that. So let me share my screen once again. And there are 2 filters, okay, in the dimensions. There is the item dimension and the package dimension. So with the item dimensions, if you wanted to fit it into a 3 by 7 by 9, you would want to go in here and say, you know what? I want to make sure that this is 2.9 at the maximum. So from 0 to 2.9 maximum. The width is from 0 to 6.9 maximum. And the height is from 0 to, what is this here? What was the other one? Sorry. Yeah, 7 by 9. We'll do 8.9 maximum. All right. So now we're down to 151 products. If we go look in here, we should see some products here. These are going to be anything up to that size, so they could be smaller. Maybe that's a Funko box, but here we go. We've got a Funko Pop right here. Looks like the price is currently $12.95, new third-party FBA. Buy box looks like it might be Amazon sometimes, but when Amazon is out of stock, maybe it's hitting that new third-party FBM. Let's see what we've got here. We got to remember this data sometimes is a little old. So it looks like right now it's getting at 1061. Not really something we want to mess with. But let's go look at a few other things here. Look at this Lego Lord of the Rings. This item here looks like the price popped on it here recently from 1039 to 1449. We can open this up on Amazon. It'll definitely fit in that box. It's just a minifigure, and it's at $14.49. But that will do the trick for you. Okay. All right. Let's see what other questions we've got in here. Chris, are you familiar with the process of transitioning from a sole prop to an LLC and what the process looks like and what it takes to prevent Amazon from pausing funds for whatever reason? Yes. So, of course, go out, fill out all of your LLC information, and then I would also make sure that you have your business bank account all set up. Get all of your ducks in a row outside of Amazon first. Articles of incorporation, the documentation from the Secretary of State. Make sure that you get your EIN number, have all of those things in hand, and then make sure you have your bank information and you even have some paperwork to show it. Okay. And then open up a case with Amazon once you have all of that. Let them know that you want to open up or you want to change your information. Go through the case. Tell them exactly what you're going to do. I'm switching from a sole proprietor to an LLC. Wait until you get a response that, yeah, that's no problem. You won't have any issue. Then go through the tax interview process and put in all of your information, all of your new information. After that, go in there, open another case, tell them that you're going to be changing your bank account information. So you change it over to your new LLC bank information and then do that. Now, might you get paused for re-verification? Yes. Okay. There's almost no way to guarantee that that won't happen, but you should have all of your documents in order. You should have proof that you've let Amazon know ahead of time that you're making these changes. And it should make the process a little bit more or a little bit smoother. Deal Hunter. Hey, I want to ungate Traeger brand. I've only got 9 items. I got only 9 items on sale at Home Depot in store. To ungate first, can I use receipts from Home Depot? Second, if I buy one to make it 10 and combine the 2 receipts. Okay, so yes, you should be able to use Home Depot, but let me give you a little tip here. Go to Home Depot, get those items, but go to the Pro Desk and ask them to create an invoice for you from the Pro Desk. And that should say invoice and all of that good stuff on it. It's what they will do for their contractors. And they should have no problem doing that for you. All right. And then, yes, you're going to need 10 items. It can be different ASINs. That's not a problem. It can be 2 different ASINs. You're going to have to show Amazon that information, and then you should be able to get ungated without too much of a problem. Now, does that combined invoice to ungate, does it have to be the same product in the same store? Does not have to be the same product. It can be multiple products. It making it different stores sounds like it would be too difficult to show Amazon. Okay. So let's say that you get these Traeger items at both Home Depot and Lowe's, and you want to combine those invoices to make them, into one. That sounds like it's just a step too far to try to get someone at Amazon to understand that. Hey, Harold, happy to give you a little motivation, man. It is. I'll tell you what. I love Amazon because it's an opportunity that seems a little bit more reachable for most people. I don't know that everyone is really wants to go out and start some sort of local service business or something like that. But we can all click buttons on a keyboard. But I'll never tell you that it's not going to be work. This is definitely a fairly simple business, but never confuse simple for easy. Terry, is there a retail seasonal schedule and where can I find it? I always feel I'm behind the ball when it comes to buying early for seasonal items. Uh, I'm sure that if you Googled that, there's going to be some sort of maybe schedule that's out there. But here's what is actually probably better. When you go into retail stores, when you walk into a Target, you walk into a Walmart, start paying attention, keep your head on a swivel and see what's happening in the stores. You're going to notice when they start stocking for different things. So for example, if I walk into Target and I go back to the toy section or the video game section with my son, I'm going to see off to the right-hand side in my local Target anyway, that they've got that special little section where they put up the Halloween decorations, the Christmas decorations, the back to school supplies, the Valentine's Day stuff. Well, if I walk in there enough, I'll be able to see when they're setting those up. Okay. And then you can start saying, oh, well, if Target's doing this 6 weeks before what I think the season is, or when I would start shopping as a consumer, you can start thinking about that as an Amazon seller. Now, the nice thing about being an Amazon seller is we don't necessarily have to be as early as the retailers. All right. The volume on Amazon is so much higher than it is at your local Target that you can take advantage of halfway through the season if you just forgot. All right. So like if you're thinking like right now, well, I'm totally lost for Q4. Well, that's not true. You've still got until probably the 22nd or so, since Christmas is on a Wednesday this year. And then we got to remember that Q4 really runs through January 15th. It is not, it doesn't just end on Christmas Eve of 2024. Peyton, any advice on repricing fast moving ASINs that have a suppressed buy box? So Peyton, this is a good question. Number one, you don't necessarily need to reprice so that buy box becomes unsuppressed. A suppressed buy box is sometimes a little bit of a moat, or as much of a moat as we can create on an Amazon listing. All right. And the reason that is that some people don't want to deal with them. Now, a suppressed buy box will lower the volume or the velocity of a product on Amazon, but it does not mean that it's going to completely stop selling. All right. I'm actually on a listing right now where the buy box is suppressed. We're merchant fulfilling it. And I am actually going to hold off a little bit. I put my price up a few dollars and was hoping to wait until a little bit closer to Christmas to get the people who maybe want to pay some extra shipping and also are willing to pay a little bit of a higher price because they waited too long, and let the other people sell out, because this is somewhat of a seasonal limited production product. So try to find out where the market is going if you're willing to kind of skate to where the puck is going to be. Otherwise, if it's just a regular old product and the buy box has become suppressed, you're probably going to want to be a little bit closer toward the lowest price if it's profitable. Now, there are some people who are going to price it where it's just not profitable. Forget them. Let them go ahead and sell out. All right. See how much they have in stock. Maybe they've got 4, 5, 10 units. If it's something that's selling along at a good clip, they'll sell out pretty quickly. And then you can pick up the sales tomorrow or the next day. All right. Let them trip over pennies while you're waiting to pick up dollars. All right. But don't chase the price down in all cases. It's very dependent on a particular product. Gina, Christmas came early for me. Got a section 3 on an ASIN that I purchased as an Amazon to Amazon flip, so should be easy to get resolved. But the time lag to the interview is horrible. It is absolutely horrible. Having to wait for those things is not fun. If you happen to be an early bird, and by early bird I mean if you're up at like 3:30 in the morning, go in and check and see if you can get a live call, because that happens on occasion. Deal Hunter, does a product have two different ASINs for new and used version, or is it the same ASIN? It is the same ASIN if you sell new and used, typically. Well, actually, always. If they allow used to be sold, it is sold on the same ASIN. Sometimes there is even a used buy box. That happens mostly in media, so books, sometimes video games, music, CDs, sometimes uh, now, I don't know if there's used for vinyl or not, but sometimes they'll have a separate buy box as well that you can rotate in and out of, but it's always on the same ASIN or ISBN. When you ship back in recalls from Amazon that they said had issues, can I just put another label on over top, or should I remove the last two labels? Personally, I like to remove the last two labels. Here's the reason. And it's not going to be a big market, but sometimes I order a product from Amazon and I get it, or my wife will order a product and it shows up, and I'll see an LPN sticker on it. And I'm like, man, we got a return. We got someone else's return sent to us. Now, typically, it's not a big deal. Once or twice, we've got an item that has actually been used and it got put back in as new. And then we just return it as well. But I don't necessarily want people who are in the know to get an item that they purchased from me that has an LPN sticker on it. So I like to remove it, slap a new one on there, make it look nice and shiny and new, and shoot it back in. Everyday unicorns, what's going on? Luke just checked repricing on all his stuff today, and can I just say your policy on being a perpetual test buyer is probably going to be kingpin going into 2025. Yeah, I'm a big fan, and I got to give Chris Rasick credit for coining the term perpetual test buyer. But it is, in my opinion, absolutely the right way to go. But I see Corey is never does test buys. That's all right. Different strokes for different folks. I've seen too many people go too deep on a product and then get burned. And I want to try to be able to protect as many people from that as possible. Harold, what would you recommend to ungate sporting goods or ungate like Adidas or Nike, or what's the best approach in that field? Uh, Adidas.com, Nike.com. Give those a shot. That's where I would go first. That way you can get them directly from the manufacturer. Deal Hunter. The brand new product I want to sell on Amazon has only like new versions. New doesn't exist for this listing. Any idea how to process? I'm not sure why that would be the case. Typically, there is the ability to sell new. Maybe you're just gated from selling new, and in that case, you could sell it like new. You'll just have to put that. You'll have to put that in when you're listing the product. It's hard to get specific on an item like this just because I don't know what's going on in your particular situation. What are good shipping prices to set? So, this is another one of those things where I would love to just give everybody a template and say this is what you should do. But this is actually one of those things, Peter, where I think I would be doing the community a disservice by giving everyone the exact same shipping template. Okay, because I live in Florida, so I need to protect myself from shipping to California and make sure that I don't have to overpay going there. But if someone lives in any of those middle states, Texas and north of there, well, it's going to be different for them. They're right in the middle of the country. They kind of got both sides of the country they can ship to without too much of a problem, and so they would want to do things differently. Now, I try to ship things for free to the customer as much as I possibly can, and make sure that my shipping costs are just going to be absorbed by my profit. All right. Now, I don't do a lot of FBM anymore. I just don't have the bandwidth for it. But like we're selling something right now, FBM, uh, just because I happen to come across it, and what we did for this item is we did free shipping, what, like 2 days in Florida only, and then we did free shipping, I think 2 to 4 days, up like through half of the country, and then to the East Coast. All right, but everything from like the Mississippi River over is longer, like 4 to 8 days. And if you wanted it 2 to 4 days, you had to pay like 14.95 plus $1 per pound. And then to Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico, I think I put like 49.99 plus $1 a pound. I want to make sure that I'm totally covered if I have to ship to those places. Lindsay, what's the website that you use to track products for when they go back on sale? Um, you might be talking about SalesGazer. That's a product. The SalesGazer is a website which acts like an email inbox. It'll let you know when sales are happening. You'll get emails from about 1,000 different stores automatically. I think that may be what you mean. Outside of that, you can actually use the Google price tracking feature that's built right into Google Chrome, up in the URL bar on a lot of different sites. Outside of that, you could use something. There's a couple things out there, which of course are, I'm failing to remember off the top of my head. But there are some on page like scrapers you could use that will check the page over and over again once a day or something like that. Did I see that Keepa is only showing inventory to 30 units now? I have not seen that, but I will check. There's something interesting that happens quite frequently with Keepa and Amazon, where they kind of play this cat and mouse game, especially when it comes to inventory levels. Amazon will try to hide it, and then Keepa will figure out a way to actually pull that data. And Amazon, they really don't like that. They don't like them pulling that information. I'm pretty sure that's why OS add-on stopped working. But there are other tools. I think the extension called How Many is still around. I think. Let me find out here. Let me Google that for you. How Many extension. Yeah, the How Many extension still exists, it looks like. And it will also go in and, whoops, there we go. It'll also go in and try to pull stock counts for you on listings. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Luke, sorry about that, man. All right, Flats, assuming some of these uh, hard restrictions are lifted for product brands after Q4, any plans on expanding your catalog, or would this be a decent time to do this after Q4, assuming this happens like in the past? If some of these hard restrictions are lifted, I would probably go back into selling some of the brands that have been hard gated. Now, Amazon can miss me with that stuff. They have so far. They can keep missing me. I feel bad for those who have gotten hit by this. I'm hoping that I keep getting lucky, knock on wood. But if Amazon were to lift, say, my Nike I'm not hard gated, but if Amazon were to lift my Nike gate, which I haven't got ungated in since they shut me down about 6 months ago, I would certainly go back into that brand. I never really sold much Nike anyway, but it would not scare me off. But again, we perpetually test buy. We go fairly light on inventory depth, and we go wide across a lot of different brands so that if something happens, we're diversified and don't have to worry about it too awful much. Hey, what are you thinking about Sellerboard? Lots of people really like Sellerboard. I think there are other tools out there that are probably a little bit more well-rounded, but I have not looked at Sellerboard's roadmap for the future either. But there's not really too many softwares that I have a negative thing to say about, because a lot of softwares do serve a good purpose. And I'm a big fan of using softwares and extensions, and I pay for more than I probably should. You suggested a site that we can use to track products and see when they go on sale. Can you please say it again? Oh, Mild. Yeah, thanks, Chris. Mild is what you're looking for. Yeah, it is 6. We'll have to wrap it up here. Let me get through these last two questions here. If you use Amazon's automated SSA for shipping templates, it actually does a good job automatically figuring out for you what you just described. You need to take like an hour or two to set it up correctly. Yeah, I would agree. Amazon's SSA is not too bad. Plus, you are ODTR protected if you use all the things that they should or they want you to be using. And Tay, will I get charged inventory placement fee if Amazon miscounts one of the boxes? No, inventory placement fee is if you're actually using like minimal shipment splits or things like that. If they miscount one of the boxes, they're not going to charge you an inventory placement fee uh, unless you are using inventory placement. Let's say that they give you 20 extra units. I would expect them to charge you any and all fees. Absolutely. If they ever claw those back, they should claw back that fee as well. All right. All right, guys. That is it for tonight. If if my wife says it's okay, I may go ahead and do this through the weekend, and we'll just do this 7 days a week. I'll have a conversation with Mrs. Clear the Shelf this evening about that and see what our calendar looks like. But we will absolutely be back on Monday at 5:30. Yeah, 5:30 live to do this all over again. I hope you guys have an incredible weekend. I hope you guys are absolutely crushing Q4. And I will talk to you guys again very soon. Have a great night, everybody.